Section 1. The living garden of your mind. Have you ever stopped to wonder about the quiet universe held within your own head? It is a cosmos of thought, of feeling, of memory, a landscape more vast and intricate than any map we have ever drawn. For centuries, we were told the brain was a fixed machine, a biological computer that, once developed, would slowly decline over time. But a new story is unfolding, a story that blends the careful work of science with the timeless wisdom of ancient traditions. This story tells us something hopeful, something profound. It tells us that your brain is not just a hard shell of cells. It is a living, changing organ. It learns. It heals. It surprises us. This essay is an invitation to see your mind not as a static object, but as a dynamic process. Let us begin with a simple, yet revolutionary idea: neuroplasticity. The word itself sounds complex, but its meaning is beautifully straightforward. Neuro refers to the nerve cells in your brain. Plasticity means changeable or moldable. So, neuroplasticity is the built-in ability of your brain to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Think of your brain as a vast, living landscape of pathways, like trails through a forest. Each time you think a thought, each time you feel an emotion, each time you perform an action, the more you use a particular path, the wider and clearer it becomes. This is not just a metaphor, it is a physical reality. When you learn a new skill, like playing a musical instrument, like speaking a new language, your brain physically changes. The neurons involved in that activity begin to fire together. Neurons that fire together wire together. They form stronger, more efficient connections. Conversely, pathways that you no longer use will gradually weaken, like old trails in the forest that become overgrown from disuse. This means you are not stuck with the brain you have today. You are, in a very real sense, the architect of the brain you will have tomorrow. Consider the simple act of learning to ride a bicycle. At first, it feels impossible. Your brain is trying to coordinate balance, pedaling, steering. The neural pathways for this combination of actions are weak, but you keep practicing. With each attempt, the connections between the responsible brain cells strengthen. The movements become smoother, more automatic. Soon, you are riding without even thinking about it. Your brain has successfully built and reinforced a new bicycle riding circuit. This same process applies to everything. Learning mathematics, cultivating compassion. Your experiences are constantly sculpting your neural architecture. This understanding is profoundly hopeful. It tells us that habits of mind, whether they are patterns of anxiety, distraction, negativity, are not permanent fixtures. You can create new habits of calm, focus, kindness. Science is confirming what wise teachers have known for millennia. Small, repeated actions can lead to profound transformation. Your brain is not a prisoner of its past. It is a living garden, ready and waiting for you to tend to it, to choose which seeds to plant, which paths to walk. The language will be clear, poetic images will illuminate scientific truths. This journey is for everyone, regardless of background or belief, day by day, breath by breath. Now let us explore another beautiful concept: coherence. In its simplest sense, coherence means different parts are working together in harmony. Imagine an orchestra where every musician is playing a different song at different tempos. The result is noise, chaos. But when the conductor raises the baton, every instrument joins in a single unified melody. The result is beautiful music. This is coherence. Inside your body, a similar symphony plays between your heart, your brain, your nervous system. When these systems are out of sync, you may feel stressed, scattered, emotionally turbulent. When they enter a state of coherence, however, something remarkable happens. Your internal world settles. Your heart begins to beat in a more orderly, wave-like rhythm. This steady rhythm sends a calming signal up to the brain, telling it that you are safe. This brain-heart harmony allows you to think more clearly, regulate your emotions more effectively, access a deeper sense of inner balance and well-being. It is a state where your biological systems are not fighting each other, but flowing together with grace and efficiency. How can you invite this state of coherence into your own life? One of the simplest and most powerful tools is your own breath. The rhythm of your breathing has a direct and immediate impact on the rhythm of your heart. When you are anxious or frightened, your breath becomes quick and shallow, and your heart rate becomes erratic. But when you consciously slow down your breathing, making it smooth and deep, you send a powerful message of calm throughout your entire system. This intentional breathing helps to regulate your heart rate variability, the natural rhythm of your heartbeats, guiding it into a coherent pattern. This is not a mystical claim. It is observable physiology. A simple practice, like breathing in for a count of 5 and out for a count of 5 for just a few minutes, can shift your entire biological state. You can even place a hand over your heart as you breathe, a gentle gesture that can help you focus your attention on this inner center. The word awakening can sound grand, even intimidating. It often brings to mind stories of sudden, dramatic enlightenment. But for most of us, awakening is not a lightning strike. It is more like a slow, gentle dawn. It is the gradual process of seeing your life, your thoughts, the world around you with greater clarity and less distortion. It is a shift from living on autopilot, driven by old habits and reactions, to living with more intention, presence, and choice. Using brain imaging technologies, researchers can observe the changes that occur in the brains of people who engage in regular contemplative practice. The findings are quiet but consistent. They suggest that practices designed to train attention can strengthen neural networks associated with focus, emotional regulation, empathy. The brain's default mode network, active when we are mind-wandering or lost in thought, can become less dominant. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, can become less reactive to stress. This doesn't mean that meditation is a magic pill. It means that the simple, steady act of training your attention can physically reshape your brain for the better. Awakening, in this light, is a practical skill. It is the result of nurturing new neural pathways for presence and awareness. It is a slow and steady process, like the turning of the seasons. It is about learning to meet your own experience with a little more kindness, a little more curiosity, a little more space. It is the quiet unfolding of a more conscious and compassionate way of being in the world. Section 5. A whisper of quantum consciousness. Now let us venture to the very edge of our understanding, to a place where science becomes poetry. Here we encounter an idea known as quantum consciousness. This is a speculative and highly debated concept, suggesting consciousness might be linked to quantum physics. The brain might not just be a classical biological computer, it may also harness subtle, non-local quantum effects. This is not a proven fact, but a question, an invitation to wonder about the deepest nature of mind and matter. The idea often points to tiny structures within our brain cells called microtubules as potential sites for quantum processes. Consciousness might not be simply produced by the brain like a factory. Instead, it might be a more fundamental property of the universe, which the brain is uniquely structured to receive and process, like a radio tuning into a broadcast. This perspective gently challenges the idea that we are just biological machines and opens a door to seeing ourselves as connected to the fabric of the cosmos. Hold the idea lightly. The vast majority of neuroscientists and physicists would say there is currently no strong evidence for these claims. We must not confuse poetic speculation with established scientific theory. Still, we can use this idea as a poetic bridge. It reminds us how much we do not know. It encourages humility and awe before the mystery of our awareness. It honors the possibility of dimensions our instruments cannot measure. So, let us hold science and wonder in our hands. Science gives us the firm ground of neuroplasticity and coherence, practical tools to improve our lives. Wonder, inspired by ideas like quantum consciousness, gives us a vast sky of possibility. The journey of changing your brain does not begin with a monumental effort. It begins with a single, small step. The science of neuroplasticity shows us that the brain learns best through consistent, manageable actions. Grand, sweeping changes are often unsustainable and can lead to a feeling of failure. But small, daily acts, repeated over time, slowly and surely carve the new neural pathways we desire. This is the secret of sustainable growth. Honor the brain's natural rhythm of learning, consistency over intensity. A little bit every day beats a lot once a month. Think of compound interest in finance, where small regular deposits grow into a large sum over time. The same principle applies to your brain. Each time you choose a calm response, each time you choose calm over anger, you make a small deposit in your calm account. Each conscious minute of focused attention strengthens your focus muscle. These acts may seem insignificant alone, but when compounded over weeks, months, years, they shift your baseline state of being. Your character equals the sum of your practiced habits. Regularly bringing to mind things you're thankful for can change your brain. It strengthens circuits tied to positive emotions and decreases activity in regions linked to fear and worry. Writing 3 things you're grateful for before bed, over time, rewires your brain to notice more good. Small act, large cumulative effect. You train your attention to scan for the positive, building a foundation for happiness. Applies to all self-development. Want to be more patient, more focused, more creative, more compassionate? The path is the same. Start small, be consistent. Don't try to meditate for an hour if you've never meditated. Start with 1 minute. Don't overhaul your whole life in a day. Choose one small positive habit. The brain responds to gentle, steady training. It's a partnership, not a battle. We have spoken much about the inner garden of the mind, but it is crucial to remember that this garden does not grow in isolation. We are fundamentally social creatures. Our brains are wired for connection. The quality of our relationships profoundly shapes our neural landscape from the moment we are born. The presence of a calm and loving caregiver helps to build the neural circuits for safety and trust in an infant's brain. Supportive, meaningful connections act as a powerful buffer against stress and a vital source of well-being. Think of co-regulation. Our nervous systems interact and influence each other. In the presence of a calm, grounded person, your system can down-regulate and settle. A soothing tone of voice, a compassionate look, a listening ear, not just gestures. They are biological signals that tell our brains, you are safe, you are seen, you belong. Conversely, environments of conflict, criticism, emotional neglect hurt the brain. Chronic social stress keeps the nervous system on high alert, making it harder to learn, to connect, to feel at ease. We have immense responsibility to each other. The way we speak, the way we listen, the emotional atmosphere we create have physiological impact. Kindness is neural medicine. Create spaces of psychological safety. Tend your inner garden and the gardens of your relationships. Practice deep listening. Offer words of genuine appreciation. Seek out nourishing, supportive connections. Recognize your state contributes to the collective. Cultivate inner coherence and calm. Become a regulating presence. Our individual awakening and collective well-being are not separate. They are deeply, beautifully intertwined. We have journeyed together through the inner landscape of the mind, from the tangible pathways of neuroplasticity to the harmonious symphony of coherence. We have seen that awakening is not a distant peak to be conquered, but a gentle dawn that can break within our ordinary days. Science gives us the map, showing us that our brains are living, changing gardens. Ancient wisdom gives us the tools, the simple, steady practices of breath-attention connection that help us tend to this garden with care and intention. The power to shape your mind is not a secret held by others. It is a quiet, inherent skill waiting to be cultivated. This is not a promise of a life without difficulty. Challenges will still arise. Storms will still pass through the garden. But by cultivating these inner resources, you build a deeper root system. The goal is not to eliminate all weeds, but to become a wiser, more compassionate gardener. It is about learning to work with the nature of your own mind, not against it. The invitation, then, is simple and personal. It is a call to begin, right where you are, with one small act. Do not be burdened by the idea that you must do everything at once. Choose one practice that feels gentle and accessible. Perhaps it is taking 3 conscious breaths when you wake up. Perhaps it is noticing one beautiful thing on your way to work. Perhaps it is offering a silent thank you for your food before you eat. Let your practice be an act of quiet curiosity, a gentle experiment. Approach it not with the tension of self-improvement, but with the kindness of self-discovery. There is a vast and hopeful landscape within you. It is alive with potential, ready to respond to your attention and care. You are the one who chooses which seeds to plant, which paths to walk, which flowers to nurture. Let this knowledge fill you not with pressure, but with a quiet sense of possibility. Your mind is more powerful, more adaptable, more resilient than they told you.